Sean Weatherspoon, a.k.a. Spoon Jones, part owner of Legacy Sports Complex here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm really enjoying myself being with the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. Check them out.
Welcome to the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is my guy, Roman Harper. What's up?
What's up, baby? Appreciate it, man. No nicknames, nothing, getting straight to it. Got a great guest here, a former enemy of mine that I would always say has always been a really good friend, low-key.
Why is he
just
named?
Because he's a great person. But first and foremost, let me thank all of our listeners for always tuning in, and also iHeartRadio for allowing us to be in their studios right here in Atlanta, Midtown, or for all of us bougies out there, Northwest Atlanta.
That don't even sound right.
It doesn't. It sounds really weird.
I like Midtown.
They said this is where we're at.
Midtown sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so let me introduce our guest, guys. He's a first-round pick out of Missouri. Played linebacker for 7 seasons for the Cardinals and the Falcons. He's the co-owner of Legacy Sports Complex. And it's not just a gym. It's a training ground for champions. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the pod, Sean Weatherspoon.
Yeah. Thank y'all for having me, man. Thank y'all for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I like that. It's not just a gym. It's a training ground for champions.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with the heat, okay? Now, don't be getting mad, all right? Because it's not about everybody, but others want to know.
We still repping.
Okay. Because, like, you know.
And we go, it's even deeper, right? It's even deeper.
It does go deeper because we could go to the SEC too. But anyways, you go by Sean, but that's not your real government name.
Not at all.
Which is Franklin Deshaun Weatherspoon. So why do you not go by Franklin or Frank? Or
when no one called me Franklin in my household.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm from a small town. It's called Jasper, Texas, where it's like 8,000 people. So, you know, we probably had like 8 or 9 teachers per grade, so 8 or 9 different classes. And none of my teachers called me Franklin as well. So it was always the black teachers called me Deshaun and the white teachers called me Sean. That's how it was growing up. I don't know why.
That's kind of like the whole Charles thing. Like Peanut, no one in my government name is Charles, but no one in my family, like mom, dad, auntie, mom and them, like everybody, it's just Peanut.
Right.
It ain't none of that. Hey, Charles, with my Charles Anthony, I was in trouble. I probably did something wrong. So yeah, I definitely feel you on that. That's I like that.
Yeah, and for somebody that's only been called his government name his whole life, I guess I'm not envious of that either because I've only been called Roman.
No, mom ain't had no nicknames? No, nothing?
Nothing.
Hey, Salt and Pepper. Hey, Gray. Hey, none of that. Nothing. No names.
I always thought you were older than what you actually are. Every time I saw you, when I saw, we show everybody, and you were one of the players from the Saints that the Falcons had to find out where this guy was going to be. So they would show you a picture, and I'm like, man, this dude. And then I look at your age, and I'm like, oh, he's not that much older than me. But it always kind of threw me off. But that's a good joke, right there.
Everyone think he's old, man. Everyone think he a throwback player. He been unk since his rookie year. He got into the league and was an OG like his rookie year. How that happened, I do not know.
Well, it's funny just because my vets that were in the room literally were like, dude, did he go on like a mission trip? Did he like serve in the armed forces for like 4 or 5 years?
BYU or something?
Yeah. Where does dude come from?
Who said a mission trip?
But hey, it's just kind of, it's been that way since I was in high school. So, but I'm just glad you guys actually noticed me a little bit. So it was all good.
You did your thing, man.
It ain't a blessing to have all that. Yeah. Don't look at it like that. It's not a blessing. It's weird.
And Peanut likes to always joke like,
it's weird.
What did you think the first time you saw Roman like in a program or the first time? Because everybody's like, dude, how old is that guy?
So you've been dealing with that for a while.
Yeah, I've been dealing with it.
It kind of gives you like a little secret sauce, like a little edge right there. Because the young guys might be like, oh, he old. But when you get out there in the post and you strapping up, coming up with a pick or getting some sacks. Like
he's been buying, Rome has been buying cigarette and booze for everybody since he was like 15 years old.
Make a little money on the side.
Make a little money on the side. That's literally what he was doing. So is it true that you were the first linebacker drafted in the first round out of Mizzou?
I think so. I don't think I actually followed that stat to know that, but every time I go there, the way they treat me, it kind of always
man, that's a hell of an accomplishment though, man.
Most definitely. And one thing I was proud of is I graduated early, and each year I was a starter. I was all conference first team, so that's something that a lot of people didn't do there as well. So.
Yeah,
how often do you get to go back to MIZ?
It's tough. It
tough. Is. It's hard to get there too. It's not an easy flight.
Yeah, once you fly into Kansas City or St. Louis, then you got a nice little trek down 70 or up 70, depending on which way you're coming from. But I'll go once a year. Maybe, I like to get my kids back on the ground and let them kind of see the stomping grounds. And that's where I met their mom. So she's from Kansas City, my wife, Christine. So we tend to get back to Missouri at least a few times a year. My best friend, Jeremy Macklin, is coaching Kirkwood Pioneers, his high school in St. Louis. They're in the playoffs. So we'll try to link up a little bit.
I didn't know you and Jeremy Mack was like that.
And we're roommates. And the same pick consecutive draft.
I didn't know that.
Crazy. He was the 4-star recruit and I was the 2-star recruit, so I always had him to look at and kind of strive for something. Gary Pinkel didn't come to my house.
Yeah.
He went to a lot of the other guys' house, but Matt Eberflus came to my house. And Flus is my guy who recruited me. And
yeah. And so I've been on campus like once. I haven't been there a lot. So I would love to go back, and you guys really do really, really good things. And the program's growing tremendously.
It's an exciting town. When the kids are in school, that's when it's at its best. When we're in summer, it's kind of chill. You got the football players, you got the other athletes in town, but not so much going on. But when it's going down in Columbia and you have a good football team, kind of reminds me of Atlanta. Like the stadium, it's always going to be popping when the team is popping. When the team isn't popping, it's not going to, it ain't going to be like that. Yeah. So you kind of got to earn it. And I respect that because, people work hard with their money and what they do with it is up to them, right?
Absolutely.
So I went there back in 2006. I was the 2-star recruit, man, came in and just kind of had that chip on my shoulder and wanted to, leave a legacy there. Got a chance to be around a lot of great people. And, that's the reason for success, I think, is being around great people and the timing of things. And Gary Pinkel, the way he kind of called it to me, he was like, you're a Big 12 guy. And now, Drink will be saying, you're SEC guy. That's what he's telling the kids coming in to Mizzou now. But it's a place that, I'll always try to get back to. I want to go there more often than I actually am able to get there because my roots are here now. But it's a great town. Got some great food. The people are really nice. Everybody who I meet that are, around this area, you got people that have allegiances with Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, Georgia. When they take that trip to Como, they always say, man, that's a good place, man. The fans treat us with respect.
For sure.
It's a place where you can go and feel like you don't have to worry about no baby cussing you out at 10 a.m. in the morning or 11 o'clock kickoff. You won't have to worry about that. Now, some places in the SEC, that brown liquor gets going pretty early. So
for sure.
Columbia is a place where they treat you with class and you really feel welcome there.
Yeah. I'm sure Alabama's one of those places.
No. He's talking about LSU, bro. He's not talking about Alabama, bro. We're not like that. That's LSU, dog. Completely, that's LSU. But what I will say is that what I want to know is, so you had a great career in Missouri. You get to the NFL. You're drafted first round. What was your first welcome to the NFL moment?
Ooh, man, there was a guy by the name of Tony Gonzalez here.
Oh, yeah?
And
hated guarding that
man, I bet you did because his leverage was just something that was special. So, I thought the older guys, they would struggle with my youth, my athleticism, me being able to run. And, I never really got in a hurry when I was guarding these guys, but I noticed that at the top of the route, Tony had the secret sauce, right? So it was kind of cool. A lot of people get drafted and you go into your rookie minicamp. It was the opposite. I got drafted, and then that Mother's Day weekend, I was out here with all the vets because our camp was a veteran camp right away. The whole team was boom. So I'd have to make no calls or nothing. So being out there with Eric Coleman and Thomas Decoud, William Moore, Curtis Lofton, John Abraham. A lot of guys on our defense that you knew what was going on. Coy Wire was one of those guys. Mike Peterson, guys that really helped raise me. And so it was a different time in the league when I came in. I'm sure you guys probably was in two-a-days with pads, both practices. I was in two-a-days, but, we didn't have pads in that second practice. But the older guys, they did a good job of just bringing me along and not really having resentment toward me for me being the first-round pick who essentially is, coming here to play and maybe cut into your time. So I got to shout out Mike Peterson. He was the one that he called me the baby lion. He gave me a chance to really, watch what a professional is and kind of see, how it should be done. And that leadership role from being a linebacker, the team is always looking at you, right? Yeah. And so I think it was my third year, I was the will linebacker, but here I am with the headset. So I think that's a testament to the guys that I was around. But it was definitely Tony routing everybody up. He was routing everybody up. I don't care who you were. You get to the top of the route, he doing some little stuff to just get him open. And there was a guy by the name of Coach Selfo, who was his tight end coach. And he's from Louisiana, I think not too far from New Orleans, actually. He just bona fide guys.
That is a
terms of endearment.
That is a term of endearment. Term of endearment.
You come in as a young linebacker, you ready to go. I see Tony, I'm like, okay, I got to go out here. I got to get it. I can make my mark. I can show everybody, what I can do. Because when I was drafted to cover Reggie Bush. And so that was what they told me right then. Boom, this is what you're going to do. Day one, you're going to be the dime linebacker. You might not play in the run game. That's going to be something you're going to have to earn, but you're going to get a chance to cover and show the skills I exemplified playing in the Big 12 because we threw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of great tight ends in that conference and backs that I played against as well. So when I got here, I was like, I'm going to get Tony. So I went out there. He put on a clinic on all the linebackers. Tom Brady came in town for training camp. He brought Gronk. He brought Aaron Hernandez. They put on a clinic as well.
That boy Aaron Hernandez was saucing.
I mean, bro, whatever they want to say. One of the best football players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We signed with the same agent. And Zach Robinson, the coordinator for the Falcons right now, we all lived in the same apartment complex. And the way that we would work and compete against each other, the only person to tell me he was going to hit me with a move and then actually hit me with the move. I'm like, man, he told me this in January and we played in the fall and he hit me with the same move. And I just got a chance to see the way that the veterans worked, when I got here. And Selfo, he was standing there, he said, see that, Spoon? Don't touch 88. You see that? My kid's going to college. My kid's going to college. He was in the weight room just watching Tony out there do his work, man. He's just excited. We all had a good time here, but that welcome to the league moment was definitely Tony Gonzalez. And it was kind of how everybody was talking about rookie night coming up. Rookie dinner.
Yeah.
So the guys kept talking about it, but I didn't get too, up or too down about it. I just I know I'm going to have to, take care of this night. But they took it a little easy on me. So, yeah, I got a lot of respect for those
you
guys.
Was a great rookie. You were a good rookie.
They took care
Carrying
of
the pads, bring the Popeyes. What you need me to do? I'm run down to your car at the hotel. You need me to? Whatever. I just did my part.
I like that.
That's universal too, Peanut. That Popeye's chicken, bro.
Everyone did it. I did it in Chicago my rookie year.
Dog.
Yeah, you had to before the games, before you got on that plane, grease, sweaty, and all. And you say, hey, no excuses. We got Uber Eats.
They're changing terminals and stuff at the airport. You call in the airport. Hey, y'all got it because we actually had Popeyes in the airport.
Yeah.
Y'all did.
That's love here, right?
Oh.
So all we had to do is kind of just make sure that we're in the right place, right? And they would make it happen for us.
Yeah, that's love.
Lucky, man.
That's so much love.
You need to have.
So Rome played for the Saints. Then you went to Carolina for 2 years, and then you went back to the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Something similar happened with you. You went to Atlanta for a few years, then you go to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to go back to the Falcons?
Well, I think it was a place I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
A place that showed me a lot of love. And once the business side of things started to happen, that's where the discrepancies started to come. And that's what ended up, sending me out to Arizona. And so it was a few teams that called. Flus was actually he was down in Dallas.
Okay.
He was a linebackers coach there. So he's called, man, let's do it like we did it at Mizzou. Because when I was at Mizzou, we balled out. We won like almost 40 games. I mean, we going to roll out the ball and we're going to score some points. And we're going to get a lot of opportunities on defense to make some plays. And I happen to be one of those guys playing the will linebacker in a 4-3 system where the scheme was run through, track, and hammer. And I was the guy that was normally always tracking the ball inside out. And that afforded me to make a lot of plays. And so, I talked to Flus. He's like, Spoon, come down. I'm like, I grew up a Cowboys fan. So, my parents threw some nice, 1990s parties when the Cowboys was doing their thing. None of the Cowboy stuff was involved, though. Just king of beers, Budweiser and a little brown maybe. But the family had a good time celebrating during those times. And so I kind of had a nostalgic connection with that. And it's Coach Flus who coached me at Mizzou. You know what I'm saying? It was like, that was tough. And then Steve Keim was the guy who I was close with during the process, who was the GM for the Cardinals. And he kind of always was a good friend of mine. And so we spoke a lot. And he was like, bring me a nose tackle. And I'm like, I got one. So one of my best friends, Corey Jellybean Peters, played for a long time here in Atlanta, played his first, I think, 5 seasons. We went out to Arizona together. He ended up staying out there playing 6 or 7 more years and then going to Jacksonville. And now I think he's working with them. But so, and then the actual Saints called me too, man. So Sean Payton was a guy who I got a chance to speak with for a while and really kind of understand his philosophy. And the Saints were going through a lot of things defensively at that time to where he was calling Falcon players to come down there, So I had a chance to speak with him. He had ties to Dallas as well, kind of, had a lot of respect for him in the way he did his thing down in New Orleans. And, it came down to those 3 teams and then staying in Atlanta. So I knew I would have to do a 1-year deal because I ruptured my Achilles the offseason before my last year on my rookie contract. And so I didn't get a chance to be a part of, the 14 team where I think you was in
I was in Carolina.
Y'all came up. I think you guys might have been the last straw for Mike Smith, man.
That was the last game.
Rough.
It was the last game of the season.
I've never seen this ever. Mike Smith, I love Mike. He drafted me, changed my life. Him and Thomas Dimitroff, great guys. I love their scheme. I had a good time in their scheme, had some fun playing it. But man, he was walking on pins and needles around here, man. He's coming out of his office. He's like, can you cut the music down? Because I'm not playing, but I'm the ultimate hype man. I'm gonna make sure these guys ready to go. So I'm playing the tunes. We bumping, we got it rocking, and we're trying to make sure that the division was kind of in the state that it's in now. Like,
it was all over the place. Like the Saints were
shambles.
Then they lost the last 6 games of the year. And then Atlanta was ahead of us. We were like,
somehow.
Yeah. And it was like, next we looked up, Saints lost again, and it was down between the Falcons and us.
So we still had a chance to make the playoffs. And then here goes a news report. The Falcons have hired some outside firm to help them find their new coach. And that's why I could see why
he wasn't even fired.
He wasn't even fired. We could still make the playoffs. So I see why he was kind of, Smitty, we call him the Silver Fox. He kind of, got something going. But he was a little, kind of on edge, man. And so we ended up getting our butts kicked in that game. It was a rough day, man. And so Dan Quinn comes in. He brings in his regime, right? And they're talking about the cover 3 that Seattle was running, which is the cover 3 I do not like. But I get it. And Quinn, he was a solid dude, man. We talked beforehand. My wife, at the time, she's just my lady. We're pregnant. We're kind of trying to figure out life and what we're going to do. And
of course.
My daughter's on her way. And right as free agency starts, we're in the hospital. And so we leave Atlanta to go to Arizona with a 2-week-old baby, man. So, there's a lot of things going on in my life at the time. I was 27, I want to say. And Arizona, the Falcons said they paid me good enough for me to just say, hey, I want to be here at all costs, right? So that's kind of the contract they offered me. And I'm like, nah, we're not going to rock like that. So Dan Quinn was like, Spoon, I respect it. I understand. Do what you got to do. The Saints gave me a nice little offer, and then Arizona matched it. And then I could take my best friend with me to go play nose tackle, and he can get his deal, and everything kind of just made sense. Their team was a good team.
Yeah.
Calais Campbell, a beast of a human, a great human.
He's still around.
Beast of a player, still getting sacks. It was a great place for me to go and just kind of learn to be an adult. Atlanta's a little wild out here in Atlanta. You get out here, you're 22 years old. It's a lot of things that can distract you. But ultimately, the first 3 years, we win in football games. We won 36 games in the regular season. My first 3 years, I'm thinking that's just what you do, right? And so that fourth year, I was a little banged up, missed some games. That was the first year you could be on IR and be designated to return. So I was one of the players that did that, and it just didn't bode well for me. And then I'm really working hard that offseason, looking forward to that last year on my contract, and then boom, the Achilles went. So Falcons, they treated me, the business side of things pushed me to Arizona.
Yeah.
Went out to AZ and BA. I don't know if you guys know BA.
I do, I know.
But he's a wild boy. He's a wild boy. So Bruce, he likened me to Dansby. He's a Spoon trying to hit us with the Dansby. He don't want to practice. I'm like, bro, I ain't played since 2012 in the way I want to play. I haven't played since 2013 where I started the game. Here it is, 2015. I don't want to miss practice. I want to go out and do all I can so I can, prove to myself that I can still do this, and also put myself in a position to where financially I'll have an opportunity to, drop some roots in Arizona if I like to, or go see what other team I might, like. And so pull my hamstring in training camp, miss some time. Guy by the name of Kevin Minter, guy by the name of Dayon Buchanan. Both of these guys, I think, first and second round picks by Steve Keim. They had a chance to really, show what they could do. They brought Dayon in the box, and he was able to play linebacker. And so they play well. And I was like, okay, they want to pay me almost $5 million for, to cover the running back and the tight end. I'll just get healthy, So got a chance to get healthy, contributed as much as I could. We made the championship game. And then we went to Carolina, and we threw 6 picks in that game. You're not going to win that game on the road. And I think that was the year you got to Carolina.
Yeah, we were all,
Yeah, so you guys had joined up. Y'all teamed up and made the Super Bowl. And then Atlanta, they were in a position where the guys they wanted, to play the linebacker in 15, it was an 8-8 season. So they wanted to get better, but ultimately they wanted to bring me back to kind of be, the vet, the face, the smile, get everybody going. But I'm coming back. I'm like, man, I'm ready to go. So
I'm trying to eat.
I hit the ground running. They drafted Devondre Campbell, Deion Jones. some guys who can really play some ball. And
Dion especially,
yeah, I'm
really roll.
I'm like, man, well, even Devondre was actually all pro too. So both of those guys really, we raised them. Philip Wheeler was here, Patrick Warlow. I'm sorry.
I remember Patrick
Paul Warlow. I'm sorry.
I remember
Paul gonna get me for that. P-Dub, he did a good job of filling in and making plays. I've never seen a guy get back-to-back games with, 19 tackles in the NFL. And he's the guy that's did that and knocked them down against Carolina too, I think, one year. But came back here and we had the Super Bowl run. So it was a heck of a year, man. I hit the ground running. I didn't start the first game, but one thing about Dan Quinn, they kind of, they'll do some things in practice to really show who's getting after it, right? So they're telling me they don't want me to do the same things I did here in Atlanta. We kind of bring you in a different role. I shook his hand. I said, thanks. I'm going to go out every day and just try to be me, make it hard on you guys. That's my job, right? So every so often, my picture would go up in the practice, in the film room for being, the most productive player. At practice, you get to sign your name. Boom, picture go up. Might be a couple pictures. Spoon, Campbell, Spoon, Jones, Spoon, Reynolds, Leroy Reynolds, another special team demon, really good linebacker too, who played on that team. Philip Wheeler pop up there, Warlow. And so everybody got an opportunity to play, because we were a young team. But Campbell ended up spraining his ankle pretty good, and I got a chance to start. So I hadn't started for the Falcons since 2013, and then I started the next 3 games. And in the first 4 games, I think we were 3-1. And in the games I started, we won all those games. So here I am, 28, feeling good, back, great to be back in the city, playing some really good ball. And then the other Achilles went. So then I just kind of went into a role where I was helping those guys be, kind of trying to do what Mike Peterson and Coy Wire, and I really enjoyed that. And I think Andy Reid came in here and whooped up on us. And then all of a sudden that team just said, boom, we figured it out. And those young guys, man, they beat Green Bay late in the game. Mohamed Sanu, my business partner and former teammate, my brother, he happened to win that game against Aaron Rodgers with the last touchdown. And man, we had a heck of a year, and then Tom Brady ruined it, And then next year,
Tom Brady.
Next year, I'm rehabbing, and I didn't get an opportunity to get off the ground for real. But that ended up being my last year, 2017, and so the last time I dressed was against Seattle. Later in the season that year, man, and been in Atlanta ever since, man. Raising my kids, and just trying to figure things out, pulling out my golf swing here and there, and
let's get it.
Just enjoying life.
Let's talk about your second act, what you're doing now, and you mentioned earlier Mohamed Sanu, your business partner.
Yep.
I want you to tell us how you even got into that, the Legacy Sports Complex. How did you even get into this? Well,
I've always been the guy who could kind of get the other guys going, kind of get them in the right place. I always took that to be something I really wanted to do, like not just know what I'm doing, but why I'm doing it, and then trying to share the knowledge with the other guys as well. And so that comes from my mom. She was a teacher in Jasper for like 32 years, so she kind of instilled that in me. And so my son and Muhammad's son are about 13 months apart, maybe 12, about a year apart. So these guys hang out a lot, right? Because, me and Mo become teammates. Obviously, the ladies become friends, and then we're having kids, we're growing. And so MJ, that's Mo's son, he's 9. And then my son, baby Sean, he's 8. They ended up just really locking in. And so they live in Gwinnett. I'm in DeKalb. So every so often, my son would be out staying at their place. And Mo started taking MJ to a gym not too far from their house. And he's just kind of sitting back watching what's going on at the gym. And first of all, you see a sense of community. And the kids in Gwinnett, I mean, that's a different place, man. It reminds me of how I grew up in Texas. Because like when you roll out of football, then everybody's, wide-eyed, trying to figure out, what they need to do in order to be out there so they don't lose like their brothers did when they were young, right? Like I remember being in the car telling my mom, we ain't gonna lose when it's my turn. And we didn't win state either, but anyway, it's just that DNA, like you gonna love ball, you gonna hit, you gonna run, you gonna talk some smack and have a good time. And so I saw that in the gym with the kids. Mo was telling me about it. And then he ended up going on board with them. And so once he got on board, he ended up bringing me to the gym, and I'm watching the kids work out and seeing kind of how it's going. And our partner, Dustin Shavanik, and also Christian Blake, who's another wide receiver, played with the Falcons out of NIU. He's another partner in the gym too. So he's in his second act as well. And so I just got a chance to be around these people and see the community and what it's doing for the youth there. And you got all kind of sports in there. It's not just a football gym. It's a baseball gym. It's a MMA gym. It's a wrestling gym. It's a, the moms are in there, the boot camp. I see the Falcons' wives, the coaches' wives are in there doing boot camps in the morning. And I mean, everybody's just trying to get better and better themselves. And that makes me feel good to see people, trying to be better. And so I watched it for a while and then try to figure out ways that it can make sense for me. And so I ended up coming on board. And now here we are on our third location, looking at our fourth location here in this metro area.
Man.
Yep.
So you guys are almost expanding like franchisees.
Yeah.
Because explain this whole business model, because you see it at one place.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it's the community there that, that's what attracted you to it, was the space and the people inside of it.
Yes.
So you take that, put it in another building somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the same people.
Yeah, but you do have the same people.
Oh, but you do.
You do, because we're running all over Georgia.
Okay.
I'm from Hodgson, where the new gym is, to Lawrenceville, to Swanee, and even checking out the new spot in Canton that we're looking at, So it's a lot of, hey, bro, what you got today?
Yeah.
And so everybody's we all got the secret sauce because we've done it, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. It's the emotion, too. That's what you're saying. Like, dude, I've been a hype man since I've been a hype man.
Right.
Like,
so we're bringing other people on and just trying to instill our values in them, if that's just the way we live our lives and the way we are on the turf with the kids and just how we respect people.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's drawn a lot of people to come to the facility. And I think Mo was late today because he's meeting with Northside Hospital. And so I wasn't able to get out there this morning, but they're looking to come in on board and, facilitate, the fees so other kids can even come into this gym.
Yeah. Specifically, I want to talk about the business side. You guys just focus on the youth, like younger kids.
No,
you don't.
Not at all. Not at all. So the youth is kind of where my heart is.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think some of my business partners, they're kind of looking at it to be one of those places where guys can have their combine training there, where they can actually rent out the space. I mean, because the youth don't need the 7-light sauna. The youth is not doing cryotherapy.
True.
The youth is not using the hot cat, but all these gyms have all of these amenities there. And so we would definitely like to grow it to the fact to where, like I said, like an agency like Athletes First, my agency, could have their guys come in, boom, and they know if they're in Atlanta, they can do their thing.
So
it's competing, right? It's competing with D1.
Yeah.
It's competing with XOs, and actually, the NFL actually gives us benefits through XOs. But I don't even go to XOs because we have Barber Orthopedic and their therapy people right in our space, so I can go in there and get PRP in my own gym and be in my the 7-light sauna, the cryotherapy, get all that stuff. So it kind of keeps my body young too, because I've been thinking about doing some more things with my body as well. I just got off the phone with my buddy Russell Okung, and he just partnered with a group in Abu Dhabi. Pay me in Bitcoin. And so he's going to pay me in Bitcoin to go out to Abu Dhabi and run around in the 707 flag game and maybe grow the game a little bit more there.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's exciting to give back, also for my buddies to be in town that are still playing, and I can send them to my place, and the first time I just say, man, y'all go sign that waiver now. Got some expensive legs, got some expensive knees now.
What is the vision for you guys? Like, you had okay, what is the end zone? What is the touchdown? What is the Super Bowl? Like, what does that look like?
I can't say that for everybody, but I can say that for me.
Okay.
I think the end zone for me is to just know that, the name is called legacy. That's one thing that really stood out for me. I want my kids to be in an environment where they have all the opportunities to do everything they want to do athletically, and I'm going to facilitate everything they're going to do educationally, and then teach them how to be humans. So that's all I want. Good humans. That's all I want to do. I think at the end of the day, if I take care of that part, just doing my part, then everything, it's going to be somebody cut a check at the end of the day. And I don't even care about that. That'd be great because, what you're able to do with that. But at the same time, ultimately, I want to do something good while I'm here. That's it. That's my vision.
Yeah. Now, are you training the kids?
Sometimes. Like today, I'm not going to be on the turf today because my son, he is a wild boy. He's 8 years old. He's in UFA Metro soccer. He's in fall baseball. He's in spring baseball. He's in basketball. He's in football. We have a 7-on-7 team through Legacy as well. And we were actually ranked in Pylon. I don't know if you know, Pylon is kind of like the biggest governing body. They put on the biggest, kind of 7-on-7 camps. That's where Cam was out there. whooping them up and stuff. Nobody tried Spoon out there.
Yeah, nobody tried Spoon.
But they was trying Cam out there. I guess when you get older,
I feel like they always trying Cam.
You know how it is, man. It's that jealousy, man. And Cam is flamboyant.
He is.
And so, he has an aura. And
he's way too big to just be right up on this dude.
Right.
What are y'all doing?
What are you thinking?
Stop. Get away.
What are you thinking, man?
Cam is bigger than you think.
Yeah.
So are you.
I agree.
Yeah, you ain't no regular cornerback.
So are you.
It's some big guys. That's one thing that kind of shocked me when I got to the pros too.
Yeah,
to see how big guys are that are athletic and can move. Because I always knew I was different. Like I'm like, yeah, I can run. I could be 250 and
for sure.
still run 4.6. But I'm like, man, seeing like cornerbacks 6'3", 210, 215, and moving and being functional in space and things like that. That was different for me. And then to see the small guys do their thing as well, like the water bugs still find a way.
No, those are the ones I hated.
Yeah, those are the worst ones. Like Sproles, he was on your team.
Yeah.
Bro, that's why, I would leave the game feeling like I give up 40 yards and feel like I got worked. And I'm like, bro, that's good against him. Like he was serious, bro. But the amount of exertion that you would have playing against some of these guys in the league, your energy, bro, you just be pooped after the game, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I want to know this because this is probably, I'll be 100% honest. I didn't love a lot of things about Atlanta or you guys' teams, but
y'all was beefing, bro. Why was y'all beefing so much? Like, remember Jay-Z said like people arguing over the neighborhood. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, why was it?
I have no idea, bro. It was crazy. Me and Roddy was so bad at times. It was so bad. And it just like infused, everybody on offense they were just hating me and I hated them. It was bad.
It was mutual for y'all.
I know. It was very mutual. My favorite thing, though, was you and your celebration. The spoon.
Yeah, bro. I should have patented that thing.
Yeah, you should have patented that.
Yeah.
That was like, and I didn't understand it the first 3 or 4 times I saw you do it. And then when Curtis Lofton came to us and everything, he really like broke it down. I was like,
you got to explain. So they can't see it. You got to explain.
It's easy, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. So it kind of started back at Mizzou.
Okay.
But like I told you, Gary Pinkel kind of comes from Don James, the Nick Saban tree. Like, they don't let you do nothing fun.
It's
like,
got to be
your socks black and my socks white, somebody in trouble. You're going to get, everybody going to look alike. Yeah. You're going to say the right things. You're going to be on, so at practice, I would kind of, first it started with me like just, hey, I'm eating out here, And then I was like, man, hold on, I'm really eating out here. Right? So I did it. And then he like showed us on film, no, we're not going to do this. That's how Coach Pinker talked. Well, we're not going to have any of this meat stuff. I remember a guy by the name of Alden Smith was counting his sacks one game.
Yeah.
And Alden, great player. He was counting his sacks. And we didn't feel no way about it. Get some more, count some more. Yeah. But he had to apologize to the team for counting his sacks in the game. And he had 3 sacks. I mean, he ultimately won the game for us, but who cares, bro? It's going to be about doing it the right way. And it's going to be about the name on the front more than it was about the name on the back. And so Coach Pinkel wouldn't let me do it at Mizzou. So I never did it in any of the games. I never did it in practice after the one time he told me not to do it. And so when I got here, my first sack was against the Cardinals. We played the second game. I sacked Derek Anderson. I started eating, right? Kurt slapped me on the head. And it just kind of evolved like throughout the year. I remember there was a guy by the name of Lil B who was like a rapper, you know what I'm saying? And they used to call him the bass guy. And his dance was eating or he'd be cooking or something. Yeah. He'd do that. So it kind of evolved to where I might have pulled something out, and ate a little bit more deliberate with my choice of food, right?
Yeah. I also like when you pull it out.
I'm about to, okay, that was my so the rookie year is just, but when you unsheath it, it becomes a weapon. You got to do it. Every time I do it, it'd be, and when you pull it out,
the spoon,
and then you let them know, you like, hey, this what's going down. And so I got a chance to pull that thing out a little bit down there in New Orleans sometimes. And sometimes you make a play that doesn't need that, You don't need that. Like, it has to be like, okay, you letting them know, like, okay, I'm on you right now.
Even the funnest ones I enjoyed you do was, even when you wouldn't eat, you just show us the spoon.
I might just, and put it, I might just
put it back.
I might just pat it like it
was
ain't
like a whole deal.
It ain't time.
A whole deal.
And then it'd be cool. It's pretty cool because like you make a play and you look in the stands or you look at the sideline or your teammates. Like, man, pull that spoon out. No, we need one. Like, and so it became something that was fun, man. There was actually a spoon man in Atlanta, bro. He had spoons all over his jacket, his blazer, and they would come with the big foil spoons and the primetime games. And, man, one time I ran through on Peyton Manning and I think I knocked the ball down or something, and I pulled out both of them.
Double
and it was, yeah, we got to eat double against this guy right here, right? And he was disgusted, man. And we won the game on Monday night. It was pretty cool. And then a guy by the name of Zeke, he kind of took it and took it a little further.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy by the name, he was a safety, I'm a Swagoo.
Yeah.
What's his name, though? I'm drawing a blank right now. Great, he's awesome safety. Small, Swearinger, DJ Swearinger.
DJ Swearinger.
Yeah, he was a part of the Arizona team, too. We had so much talent in Arizona. It was crazy. There's no way we should lose to y'all for the Super Bowl. I mean, to go to the Super Bowl. That team was so much more talented than your team. But you guys got it. But
thank you.
Swag, yeah, he pulled out too. I've never seen nobody love football like him though. He walk around with football like it looked like on Higher Learning.
Yeah.
Or what's the other movie? Not Higher Learning. The other movie.
The Program.
The program.
Yeah. Great movie.
Darnell Jefferson walking around with the ball. That was DJ Swearinger. So once I met him, I was like, all right, bro, you can eat, bro. It's cool. You like to eat. I get it.
Well, I got a question for you, and we try and ask this to majority of our guests, and usually brings out a little bit of a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mount Rushmore. You get 4 people.
Mm.
4 people of the biggest influence to make you, Sean Weatherspoon, to who you are, get you to where you are right now. Who would those 4 people be?
Man, it got to be my mom. I'm going to put my mom there. I'm going to put my dad there because, I saw my dad go to work his whole life. Saw my mom go to work her whole life, and they instilled in me to be somebody to get up off your butt and go do something.
Mm-hmm.
And also be a respectful person. So I got to, just the way I think about, dealing with people, it comes from them. And then my dad, he showed me the ball, so I gotta put them up there. Now, if anything else, this gonna be a family thing for me, bro. I'm not looking, and that's where I think, the family dynamic is kind of a little weird now, but I'm that kid that's the baby of 4. And so I'm looking at my big bro. My big bro, he the first one to go make sure my parents didn't have to pay for school. He went to Stephen F. Austin University, started as a true he's Nacogdoches, which is the brother of Natchitoches, those 2 Indian chiefs. But he spurned Northwestern State to go to Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah Trotter was his big bro. And so Trot was like 260, like just sitting in the middle back in the 90s, just coming through, just like he did in the league.
Yeah.
Just coming through and man. And he was hit that axe on him. His was pretty dope too. But big bro, I got to shout out big bro Tay. That's my oldest brother, played linebacker as well. And then after that, the 4th one, who's I looking at, man? It would have to be, when it comes to football, it was Barry Sanders. Ooh. Barry Sanders, man. So it's Barry Sanders. That's who made me like just really love the game. My big brother who exemplified like this how you do it.
Yeah.
And then my dad and my mom for creating me and teaching me how to be an adult, how to be a human, a good human.
Yeah.
Now that I'm an adult, it's really showing off. But yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore. I don't look outside to the other things, man. I respect the outside, but I take what I need to take, and I use my discernment.
Yeah. Your Mount Rushmore, you can put whoever you want on it, man. That's a beautiful Mount Rushmore. That's a good one.
Spoon, I've heard great things about you, bro, and you didn't let me down today.
Appreciate it, man. I'm glad you guys, had me in here. You guys doing a great job with it. I got to shout out my pod while I'm here too. The True Sons podcast with myself, Jeremy Macklin, my college, buddy. So it's me, J Mac, and then my buddy Kevin Rutland. So Kevin played corner for the Jags. He came in the lockout year, and Kevin's he's a Missouri legend to me.
Yeah.
But like Mac's the Mizzou legend on offense. I'm one of the Mizzou legends on defense. And so Kevin's in the middle. He's kind of like doing what you guys doing, kind of directing it. And me and Mac kind of just talking, we talking ball and talking about Mizzou because right now it's going down.
Bro,
so
let him do the heavy lifting, dog.
Exactly.
You come in there and put the swag on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Aaron Murray is actually the guy who partnered with us at TPL, which is called the Players Lounge.
Yes.
Chase Daniel kind of hooked us up with Aaron. And so Aaron's producing our show.
Nice.
And it's called the True Sons podcast. You guys can check it out on all the platforms.
Awesome. There it is. Y'all go check that out, man.
Check it out.
You gonna get us out or you want me to do it?
I think you do it, man. You got a flow to you now.
You know what? I am feeling that flow. It's because we got Atlanta Falcons around us, man. I naturally perk up and defend
First
myself.
Place.
So, anyways, man, thank you for our viewers and listeners out there, wherever you pick up your podcast. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating, a review, give us a follow, click subscribe, and
leave a comment.
Comment. And what are we going to do? Tell them where we going, Peanut?
Check us out on our NFL YouTube channel.
Yeah, that thing. And, make sure you give us a 5-star rating. Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app. Thank you as always. Appreciate it, man. Spoon, you were a blessing, brother.
Man, thank y'all for having me.
Thank you, man. Dude, you did not disappoint, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, dog.
Appreciate you. Respect. Peanut, Roman, Spoon. This is the NFL Second Players Podcast. We out. Thank y'all.
Get you to go play.